In this video, I'm going to explain Chapter 3, Ionic Compounds and Metals, Section 2, Ionic Bonds and Ion Formation. By the end of the video, you will be able to explain the formation of ionic compounds and arrangement of ions in an ionic compound, to relate the strength of ionic compound to their physical properties, to identify if the bond formation is exothermic or endothermic. The key words coming under this section are ionic bond, electrostatic force, exothermic and endothermic, lattice energy. Formation of ionic bonds. We have already seen in the last section about the formation of ions. Ions are cations and anions. Cations which are formed from the metals by loss of electrons, and anions which are formed from the non-metals by gain of electrons. And this positively charged cation and negatively charged anion are held together by an electrostatic force of attraction, and this electrostatic force of attraction is called as an ionic bond. One thing which you have to remember in the formation of an ionic compound is that the ionic compound is neutral. So the overall charge of the ionic compound should be 0. The number of negative charge should be neutralized by the number of positive charge, or the number of electrons lost during the formation of a cation should be equal to the number of electrons gained by the non-metal which forms an anion. Okay, let's see an example of formation of calcium fluoride. You can come back to this slide and read this after I explain. So let's see the formation of calcium fluoride. As you know, calcium has an atomic number of 20 and fluorine has atomic number 9. If you see the periodic table and see the group 18 elements, the nearest noble gas for calcium is argon, whose atomic number is 18, and the nearest noble gas for fluorine is neon, whose atomic number is 10. So calcium tends to lose 2 electrons in order to become stable. So the charge of calcium will be 2 plus, because it will lose 2 electrons. And when it loses 2 electrons, the number of electrons in calcium becomes 18, and the electronic configuration will match with argon. In the same way, fluorine, in order to become stable as neon, it will tend to gain 1 electron, and that will result in the formation of F minus fluoride ion, and there will be a gain of 1 electron. Okay, now if you see the number of electrons lost and gained, here 2 electrons are lost, here 1 electron is gained. So you can easily see that the charges are not balanced. Number of electrons lost are more, the number of electrons gained are less. So in order to balance these charges, I am going to take 2 fluorine atoms. Okay, so the 2 electrons lost from calcium is distributed equally between 2 fluorine atoms. So I will take one more fluorine atom, which will also get converted into F minus by gaining 1 electron. So there is a transfer of electron from calcium to 2 fluorine atoms, and the electrostatic force of attraction which holds these ions together, and that force is called as an ionic bond. So this way there is a formation of an ionic bond. The overall molecule is called as CaF2. You can also cross check the total charge of this compound. So as you know, calcium is having a +2 charge, fluorine, 2 fluorine atoms are there, so the charge will be -1 and -1. So if you add up these charges, the total charge will be equal to 0. Properties of ionic compound. Ionic compound contains ions, and these are arranged in a 3-dimensional geometric pattern. and that geometric pattern is called as the crystal lattice. They are hard, rigid, and brittle, and the reason for this is the strong inter and intramolecular forces existing between the ions, which is purely electrostatic. And because of the high strength, they are having a high melting point and boiling point. Also, if you consider their solubility in water, they dissolve in water. The reason for the dissolution is because of the polar nature of water. So water, as you know, has oxygen and hydrogen. Oxygen, since it is more electronegative, it will have a partial negative charge, and hydrogen has a partial positive charge. So when an ionic compound is added to water, the negative ions, for example, if I take chlorine, sodium chloride is added to water, the Cl minus will interact with hydrogen and Na plus will interact with oxygen, and that will result in the separation of the charges, and this will result in the dissolution of ionic compound in water. So which you can see here in the pictures given here. One more property of an ionic compound is the conduction. If you see the ionic compound, they contain ions, but the conductivity is only possible if the ions are able to move, which is possible only when the ionic compounds are dissolved in water or when you have a molten ionic compound. So they are excellent conductors only in the liquid state, because in the liquid state the ions are freely moving. But if you consider their conductivity in the solid state, it do not show any conduction because the ions are fixed and they cannot move. So you have to remember that ionic compound can conduct only if they are in a liquid state, that is dissolved in water, or when you have a molten ionic compound. But if you have a solid ionic compound, the conduction is not possible, as you can see in figure B here, which is not possible because the ions are not able to move. Okay, conductivity needs movement, which is not seen in solid state, but it is seen in a molten or in a aqueous state. And this aqueous solution of an ionic compound is called as an electrolyte because they can conduct electricity. Let's see why are ionic compounds brittle. If you refer to the first picture here, this shows the arrangement of cations and anions in an ionic compound. So you can see that the unlike charges are facing each other, so there will be a very strong attractive force in this ionic crystal. But when pressure is applied in any of the directions, what happens is the arrangement of the ions is disturbed. So that will result in a new arrangement where the like charges are facing each other. And when the like charges face each other, there will be repulsion, and because of the repulsion, there will be separation of the layers. And this will result in the brittle nature. So when pressure is applied to an ionic crystal, there will be breaking of bonds. The breaking of bonds is because of the changes in the arrangement of the ions. Energy of ionic bond. Energy of ionic bond is measured in terms of lattice energy, which is the energy released when 1 mole of an ionic compound is formed from its ions. Lattice energy tells about the strength of the ionic bond. If the lattice energy is higher, that means the bond is stronger. If you see this table, you have lithium fluoride with lattice energy of 1030 kJ per mole and cesium iodide with 600 kJ per mole of lattice energy. So this difference tells us that lithium fluoride have stronger bonds when compared to cesium iodide. So this also tells us about the strength of the bond. So what are the factors affecting the lattice energy? There are two factors which affects the lattice energy, that is charge and size. That is, charge of the ion should be high and size of the ion should be small. When these two criterias are seen, then you consider the lattice energy to be higher or the strength of the bond is high. Here you can see that lithium fluoride, you can give reason why lithium fluoride has higher lattice energy, because lithium and fluorine, if you refer to the periodic table, the size of lithium and fluorine are smaller. And if you refer to the periodic table and check the positions of cesium and iodine, you can see that they come down the group. That means their sizes are bigger. So these are having weaker bonds, whereas LiF has stronger bonds. Even in the second column, you can see MgCl2 and um, SRO. If you see these two, here you can check the charge. Magnesium has +2 charge and chlorine has -1 charge, whereas SCN or SRO, anything you can consider, SC has +3 charge and N has -3 charge. So now you can see that the lattice energy of SCN is more when compared to MgCl2. Why? Because they are having higher charges when compared to MgCl2. So the factors are size should be small and charge should be large. If these two factors are seen, then you can consider that the lattice energy is higher or the bond is stronger. In this table, you can look at the relation of the strength of the bond with the lattice energy and how is it related to the melting point. Stronger the bond, higher will be the melting point. As we have already discussed the factors affecting the lattice energy, so you can see the questions here and refer to the answers. So the answers are selected based on the charge and based on the size. Even the reasons are given here. You can just go through these slides. Formation of ionic bonds in an ionic compound is always an exothermic reaction. The reason for this is when a positive ion and negative ion interacts with each other, as you know, the ions are formed in order to attain the stability. Always remember, stable means the energy of the substance is lowered. So if the energy of the substance is lowered when they attain stability, there will be some extra energy left. That extra energy left will be always given out. So during the formation of an ionic compound, since there is an attainment of stability, these extra energy is lost in the form of heat, and that is why you call such reactions as exothermic. So formation of ionic compound is always exothermic. So exo in the sense there is release of energy, and endothermic means there is a absorption of energy. Always remember, energy is always released during the formation of bond. Any bond, it can be ionic or covalent or any kind of bond. Whenever there is a formation of bond, there will be release of energy because stability is attained. When there is a breaking of bond, there will be absorption of energy. So that you call it as an endothermic process. For example, if you have to break this, you are going to put energy into this. So for breaking, there will be always absorption of energy. When there is a formation, there is always a release of energy. So this is one important thing which you have to remember always. Have a look at these questions and try to solve these questions. Which of the following has greater lattice energy? NaCl or LiCl, Kf or KCl, MgCl2 or NaCl, and also you are supposed to give reasons for each of them. So for lattice energy, you have to remember the two factors affecting the lattice energy. One of them is the size and the other one is the charge. So size should be small and charge should be large. So these are the two factors affecting lattice energy. So accordingly, using these two factors, you are supposed to identify which one has greater lattice energy and reason them based on the same concept. Okay. So for example, if you take NaCl and LiCl, the anions are same, the cations are the ones which are different. So you are just referring to the periodic table and checking which of them is having a smaller size and which of them is having a larger size. Since if you see the periodic table, LiCl has a smaller size, so this will have high lattice energy. The reason is given in the next slide, which you can pause and just go through. For the second question, if you see here, Kf and KCl. Now here the cations are same, anions are the one which are different. Again, you can check the periodic table and see for the positions of these elements in the periodic table, and based on that you can predict their size. So if you see fluorine comes uh, above in the period 2 in the periodic table, so they will have a smaller size. So your answer will be Kf. The reason will be small size. If you take MgCl2 and NaCl, so both are having the same anions. So magnesium, the charge is +2, and sodium, the charge is +1. So you know charge should be large, then only the lattice energy will be more. So for this, the answer will be C. So you Next question, which compound has greater lattice energy and why? Again, the same factors you are going to consider here. Here Ki and Kbr. If you compare the sizes of iodine and bromine, iodine comes below bromine down the group. So bromine is having a smaller size than iodine. So your answer will be Kbr. If you compare these two, the charge of Sr is +2, Ag is +1. So your answer will be B. Order the following compounds from lowest to highest melting point. So you have all the cations which are same, the anions are different, and all the anions are halogens. So halogens are arranged fluorine first, then comes chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. So down the group, if you see, the size increases, so that means greater the size, lesser will be the lattice energy. So lattice energy decreases in this order. So here they have given lowest to highest. So you have to start from lesser lattice energy to higher lattice energy. And you know, if the lattice energy is less, then the melting point will also be less. Why? Because lattice energy tells about the strength. So the order will be from lowest to highest. That will be for first will be Ki, which is having least, then comes Kbr, then comes KCl, and then comes Kf. So this will be the order of increasing melting point, from lowest for Ki and highest for Kf. Thank you.